I found out my late wife was cheating on me with multiple men, but her family doesn't know and thinks I'm a heartless monster when I don't treat her like an angel. Posted by u/mdone2244. Anna, my late wife, died in a car accident. A person lost control of their car, ran her over, and she passed away immediately. We were both 26 at the time. It was 4 years ago, right before the pandemic. We were having a tough time as a couple. She was extremely jealous of me and also very protective of her phone. Shortly after her death, I found out I had an STD, and, surprise surprise, she had been cheating on me. On the day she passed, a guy we went to college with and were kind of friends with sent her messages asking for pictures of their last encounter. From the way he talked, it seemed recent, and it appeared they spoke often. I was able to access her phone and laptop, as she hadn't changed her passwords. She would always ask to check my phone, and I would ask for hers in return, so I knew her password. There wasn't much on there because she had either deleted everything or hidden it very well. However, the most recent messages were still there since she obviously couldn't delete them after her death. While looking for the pictures he asked for, I found photos of her and him deep in a random folder at her workplace files on her laptop. In one of them, she had short hair, which she only had right after we got engaged. So, she had been with him for at least 3 years out of our 6 years together. I also found pictures of 2 other guys, but I have no idea who they are, and there were no messages from either of them. I messaged the friend and told him that I knew, shared that I had an STD, and said that I wouldn't reveal it to anyone, wanting it to be kept a secret forever. I asked him if anyone else knew, and he said his ex knew, but that he would talk to her. I decided, for the sake of her parents and siblings, that I would pretend she was a great person and let them keep their beautiful memories of her. Anna's older brother, Thomas, 34M, is a good friend of mine to this day. I would even go as far as to say we're best friends. 2 years after my wife's passing, I was ready to date again. Thomas said he knew the perfect girl for me, he just wanted me to be sure I was ready for something serious before introducing us. It was his sister-in-law, Laura, 27F. We only knew each other superficially and hadn't really talked before our first date. I fell for her quickly and deeply. We started dating, and about 3 months in, we were already saying I love you and I told her I was going to marry her. It has been a little less than 2 years now, we are engaged, and I have never been this happy. I told her all about my relationship with Anna. I still have the evidence of what Anna did stored away on my computer, just in case, and I showed it to Laura. She cried a little and comforted me, but I assured her I was fine and that I was over it. The problem is with Anna's family, especially her mom and sister. Ever since Anna's passing, every time they talk about her, people want to hear me say something. They ask me about her and try to include me in conversations about her. Anna was such a good cook, right, Op? I loved when she and Op would banter, remember, Op? Stuff like this. In the beginning, I managed by saying it was difficult for me to talk about her and that I wasn't ready. They let me be for a while, but ever since I started dating Laura, I haven't been able to use the I'm not ready excuse. Her friends, sister, and mom get annoyed if I don't sound enthusiastic or depressed. I've learned it's easier to look depressed. Also, if I talk about Anna in any way that doesn't portray her as an angel who blessed us with her presence, I get side-eyed. Thankfully, Thomas and her father are great guys and don't push me too hard on this. Her dad is always grateful that I attend family gatherings, as we like to talk about our field of work, and he always says he considers me a son. Her mom and sister, though, get upset if I try to dodge the topic of Anna. Her sister even said out loud once that it's obvious I didn't love Anna. She apologized afterward, but, she isn't wrong. By the end, I didn't, and I sure don't now. Look, I'm over what happened. I don't feel hate for Anna anymore. I sometimes catch myself wishing she were alive, just so I didn't have to pretend anymore, but also because her death was a tragedy. A lot of people loved her. Her friends organize a reunion for her birthday, and those are incredibly hard, but I still go because I know how much she meant to those people, even though I know her affair partner will be there. But this is all starting to get to me because it's affecting Laura. I can't say I love her in front of these people. I can't even hug her without Anna's sister getting all moody. Her best friend has stopped speaking to Laura. They were friends too. Anna's mom even came to us at Thomas's birthday party last week and asked us to stop dancing to respect her grief. She also contacted my mom and Laura's parents, saying she was incredibly disappointed that I proposed to Laura so soon and that we're moving too fast. It's been 4 years, even if Anna hadn't been a cheater, more than enough time has passed. I'm just over it, and I'm seriously considering telling them all what happened just to get the weight off my back. Would I be wrong if I did this? Update 7 weeks later. Hello again, sorry for not replying to most of you, there were too many comments, and I wasn't able to respond to many. Thank you so much for caring, though. I had used Reddit for advice on a work-related issue in the past, and it was helpful. I feel like it came through again. I'm only updating because I received so many DMs asking for it, and I hate when I read something with no resolution. As I think there's no harm in doing it, here I am. There's something I want to add because I didn't feel it was relevant before, but seeing so many people saying mean things about Anna made me feel like it's relevant, just so some people can understand how I feel about her. Maybe it isn't relevant, but I feel like saying it and putting it out there. Anna loved me, she really did. She wasn't some monster who wanted me to be miserable and make me a fool. I saw the way she talked about me to other people. She loved me. She was worried I would divorce her and was talking to people about how to turn our marriage around, how to put it back on track. The issue was that she had a kink, and I absolutely had no desire to partake in it. She asked a couple of times, once early in the relationship and another time after we got married, and I unequivocally refused both times and was particularly judgmental about it. All the pictures I found were of her in those kink scenarios. So yeah, she was intimately frustrated and used those men to satisfy her kink. But she loved me, she was just very selfish, dumb, and reckless. I really believe this. And I say all of this because she was a terrible wife, she cheated on me for years because of a kink. But she was not a terrible person, she was only a terrible partner. There's a reason so many people loved her so much. I went with my gut feeling of talking to Thomas. It seems like a lot of people came to the same conclusion, that this was the best way to handle it. Laura and I went to his house, and we talked to him and his wife, Laura's sister. I told them that I was only bringing this up now because my life and Laura's are being affected by how people perceive me as Anna's husband. People want me to be a memory of her life, when in reality, being reminded that I was married to her feels like a gut punch, and I'm at my limit. But I kept on trying because I love her family, and I know how much she meant to many people. I told them that I did not love the person she became when she died, and that we were probably headed for divorce soon, even without the things I learned. The only reason I didn't share it with anyone was because I didn't see a point in tarnishing her memory and changing people's perception of her when it wouldn't matter to anyone, and it would only bring pain to those who loved her. Now, though, this decision is biting me because I also have to act like she was perfect. The reason I told them this way was so they could opt to know more if they wanted, but if they'd rather stay ignorant of the situation, they could. Thomas wanted to know everything, so I told them. He asked to see the proof, and I told him that the pictures were intimate and graphic, and it wasn't a good idea for him to see them. He asked his wife to see them. I showed them to her, and she confirmed to him that it was real and that they were really bad. She actually flinched looking at them. He asked if it was only one time. I told him it was with 3 different guys, and one of them went on for at least 3 years that I knew of. He was mad, cussed a lot, not at me, but at the situation. I started to regret everything at that point. He said, "Jesus Christ, why is she so effing stupid?" He called Anna stupid a bunch of times. He asked for some time to think things over and went out. I left Laura and her sister talking and went on a drive as well. About an hour later, Thomas called me and asked me to come back to his house. He and Monica gave me a hug. She was crying a lot. He asked me what I wanted to do. I told him that all I want is to move on from this and be happy with Laura. He told me that he would handle his mom and sister, that I didn't need to worry about them anymore, but I should just distance myself from his family and Anna's friends for a while. He said I'm his brother, and that will never change. We all hugged it out, and that was it. My ex-sister-in-law has since reached out and told me that she knew Anna was cheating on me but thought we were working through it. Anna told her about a year before she died and said she would come clean and try to work on the marriage. Now Thomas told her what happened, and she has apologized a lot. She said that she's been basically ignoring Anna's flaws ever since she died, but it has turned unhealthy for both her and her mom. She said she will help me with anything I need regarding this topic. Ex-father-in-law and mother-in-law don't know anything, and we will keep it that way. I will try to make time to hang out with my father-in-law from time to time, and considering he and my new father-in-law are good friends, Thomas and I have been talking about taking them fishing, golfing, or maybe just going to a bar, stuff like that, at least once a month. And as for my ex-mother-in-law, I just keep my interactions to a minimum. So yeah, I think it worked out well. Another thing is that Laura wants to speed up our wedding planning, so hopefully we will get married in March or April. Before, we were talking about having a long engagement, but there's no point in waiting, we both know what we want. And I'm happy, very happy.